whip up interest of the population to be able to have an interest in producing or rearing their own animals. Yes, its primary core is to whip up interest of households in rearing, in keeping their own poultry to be able to produce their own food. If you produce your own food, there will be no incentive to go and buy. If you produce your own poultry, there will be no incentive to go and buy frozen chicken and so on. And so that's the first thing. And so they rolled it out by giving some quantities of broiler birds that are about 4 weeks old. And 4 weeks old broiler birds are pretty big. And one reason for using that route was to make sure that the birds are sufficiently, injected. They are sufficiently resilient to that vulnerable nature of foreign poultry, broilers, and so on and so forth. So they are hardy a bit to be able to give to a non-trained household hand to be able to raise these poultry. And so they were given to them about 4 weeks old. So they were pretty big birds already. And so you just had 4 more weeks or 6 weeks to be able to get it into a big broiler that you can sell or consume and so on. But it's not intended to be a one-off intervention. You see, it's the part of the program is that as households get acclimatized, they themselves will be looking for birds to buy, to supplement, to grow them again, because the culture of rearing is now coming in. They know what fed their poultry. They know it's nutritious. They know it's not some 3 or 1 year old frozen chicken, so it's healthy and so on. So that's the culture. And those are very indirect, sometimes non-clear measurable determinants of how household sufficiency in poultry production is happening. And so what we urge the ministry to do is to focus on implementing the other components of that phase, which is to see that the next phase comes in a way that will be subsidized. So the farmers who got it free, maybe the next batch, they'll be able to pay something small for it. And then third batch, then maybe they may just buy and pay the full price because they will have sold some of them, they will have eaten some of them, they will have saved some money that they otherwise would have been using to buy the imported chicken and so on. So that's one phase. The other phase is the one that is targeting small to medium scale producers. So there, you and I, what we are able to do, you have 2,000 birds, you have 3,000 birds in your backyard or your farm somewhere, and those kind of support. So they have a subsidized program supporting such small to medium scale broiler and layer farmers. And then you have the big commercial ones, which is the ones that do the 10,000s, the million birds, and so on and so forth. And that program, Feed Ghana, has a different component package for those category of farmers too. So cumulatively, these efforts in these 3 different categorizations is intended to be able to contribute to a poultry production capacity of this country that is enough to literally stop people from being interested in imported poultry. If there is no demand for imported poultry, then importation of the poultry quantities will reduce. And once it reduces, we are saving the foreign exchange and we are sure that we are contributing to food self-sufficiency.